need wake-up money. Millions of people across the country are having trouble making their mortgage payments. So if that is you, what can you do to avoid foreclosure? Joining us this morning is CPA Alan Sanderson of Sanderson Knox Co with some great advice. And let's start out in two different categories. First up, Alan, it's a short-term problem for you. What can you do to alleviate the situation? And then we'll do the long-term problem.
Yeah, if you have a short-term problem, you have three things: forbearance, reinstatement, and then a repayment plan.
Okay.
And in one situation, you get a little bit of a break in time to get caught up. In another situation, you may have a scenario where you'll say, okay, I'm going to miss a few payments, but make them up with larger payments over time,
okay,
if you can afford them. And so those things work well for the short-term guy. Now, in the long-term problem, you really have three areas that you want to go to in general. One is going to be a loan modification. Maybe you'll do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. At that point in time, you're just trying to salvage your credit rating, or perhaps a short sale where you sell the house for a lower price and then make up the difference to the lender. And
if you do decide to do the loan modification, people need to be aware that there's a lot of scams going on with that right now.
Huge number of scams going on in the whole loan modification area. You'll have people out there that say, well, I will take over your mortgage or buy your house and let you rent it for a while, and then when you get back on your feet, you can buy it back from me. Those people want you to fail, and you're probably going to. If you get some guy that comes out and says, I'm going to guarantee you that you keep your house, you better be careful. There's some people that can do that, but most of them can't. The place to go is there's a website called hopenow.com that's run by the feds, and it gives you a list of all the free charities and so forth that you can go to get help on a loan modification.
Again, that's Hope Now.
Hopenow.com.
Okay. In
Houston, you have several of them. The Chinese Center does for the Chinese people in Chinese, Cantonese, or Mandarin. GCCSA, Catholic Charities, there's several of them in Houston.
All right, and then what's the first thing you do if you feel like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make this payment? Walk us through the process, because that's a scary situation when you don't know what's at the end.
It is. First thing you want to do is to talk to your lender and talk to the loss mitigation department.
Okay.
They can work things out for you in the different categories that we talked about. That's very, very important. And if it just is not working out for you, then you certainly want to go to one of these HUD-related counselors that we just talked about and get free help. Avoid the guy that wants to charge you a bunch of money up front or wants to play on your emotions to help you stay in your mortgage. And that's really one of the most important things to remember is this is business now. And the folks out that you're dealing with in these mortgage companies, their duty is to the investor, not to you. And they're not your friends. So you got to be cordial with them. But you got to remember that if you can get an advantage on them, you use it, because they're going to certainly use every advantage against you.
All right, great. Hope Now, again, is that organization. I ran into someone in the park the other day who had used that service, really helped him out. So great service there. Thanks, Alan.
You bet.
Chris?